the crowd. A memorable Breeders' Cup Classic. It's a race for the ages.
Two Guys at a Classic is back. Win and you're in this fall in Cleveland. Round 2, Santa Anita, the Gold Cup this weekend, Saturday, for the horses there. Brad Whiteside, Joe Christopher with you today. And in round 1, tip of the cap to you, Joe. You're the big winner. You had the long shot in Noble Bird.
Well, I don't know if we can define 9-2 as a long shot, Bram, but I'll take it. We thought Opportunity might need the race. We thought Lee might need the race. Noble Bird was fresh fit and ready to go, and he soared home in the Stephen Foster, and it was an impressive win.
Yes, surprised by Lee. We'll talk about him in a little bit. There's been some notes over the last couple of weeks as well that I want to get into with you. Mr. Z was somewhat of a surprise winner in Ohio. What do you make of him?
3-horse photo, and Dwayne Lucas has taken a lot of flack for running Mr. Z in just about every race he can run in. And then there was a sale between Zayat and the Current Connections, and Mr. Z made Mr. Lucas look proud again. He's not a Hall of Famer for nothing, and I was surprised. The betting public was surprised 6-1 on Mr. Z.
Yeah. How about California Chrome? I think we're all waiting to see if he's ever going to get back to the form he was a year ago, and he is back home.
Yeah, I mean, he missed the race in Royal Ascot with a foot problem, and now he's back in the States. He's going to Chicago. He's going to train up to the Arlington Million on the turf. They're trying to get his breeding rights soared up in the air a little bit as far as how much his stud fee will be eventually. But, what's he going to do by the end of the year? That remains to be seen.
All right, so he had a foot problem or some kind of problem. I don't know what Opportunity's problem was a couple of weeks ago, and this is a weird spot as we focus in on the Gold Cup here. It's just 2 weeks later. The distance is longer. I don't like him here. Do you?
Well, I mean, he's never been 1.25 miles. I think this may have been by design because they entered the Stephen Foster at the last minute. He got a lot out of that race. He finished 3rd. We'll see how that translates in the Hollywood Gold Cup, but he has some tough customers to face. Bob Baffert has won this race 5 times, though.
Yeah, the two that we're looking at here, Moreno and Catch a Flight, they faced each other twice here over the last few months, including each of their last outing was against one another. Catch a Flight caught him in the stretch, held off by a half a length. Do you see these two once again as being the two that will duel for this?
Yeah, there's a lot of speed in this race. Moreno is speedy. He's game, but he's going to have some other horses battling with him on the front end where Catch a Flight can just sit, wait, chill, make his move at the right time. And Bram, he's 5 for 6 over 1.25 miles, where Moreno is 0 for 7 over 1.25 miles. He's run some big races at the distance, but Catch a Flight, I think, is going to be in the catbird seat here.
Yeah, I don't like that Moreno's a front runner typically. There is a front runner on the rail that potentially could ruin this for him, so I like Catch a Flight. Who do you like in this race?
I like Catch a Flight. I just think he's going to get the right trip. Although I can't say Finnegan's Wake, he's 0 for 4 on dirt, but he was beaten only 4 lengths in the Clark back in 2013. He's a turf horse who's in great form, and he may be running late. So I'm going to go with Catch a Flight as my most likely winner, Finnegan's Wake as my potential long shot.
Are you actually seriously citing something from 2 years ago as possibly relevant at all in this?
Well, you know what, Bram? You go back in the DRF formulator, you look up the lifetime past performances. I'm like, what is Finnegan's Wake doing in this race? And then you see that Peter Miller has a few horses in this race, and maybe he's trying to set the table for Finnegan's Wake. Outside of the horses that we talked about, I don't see very many logical long shot contenders, so I kind of defaulted to Finnegan's Wake here.
I agree. The times on Battyman are really good. Not typically at this distance. I expect him to get out to the front, and I'm going to say could, and underline could, go wire to wire, although I highly doubt that would happen. So there's a big long shot number if he was to have best day of his life. And I also like Majestic City a little bit here, and that's the one I'm going to pick for a long shot. Change trainers, first run out with the new trainer, good. Best race in months. So if I'm going to take a shot on someone, and I think the long shots are really, in your words, long shots, I kind of like Majestic City a little bit here.
Yeah, stranger things have happened. There's no Game On Do. There's no Lava Man in this race. There's no superstar per se, so maybe the race can kind of set itself up for a long shot. That remains to be seen.
As for our classic top 10, not much has changed here over the last couple of weeks. The only change for me was Lee, because he didn't perform as well as I thought he would a couple of weeks ago, so I dropped him down. But my top 6 stayed the same, of course, with American Pharoah on top.
Yeah, American Pharoah stays there. Big question mark, obviously, over the head of Shared Belief. Frosted's going to point towards the Travers. Bayern had a really fast workout on Sunday. The Whitney's going to come up huge with potentially Honor Code, Noble Bird, and Lee. Firing Line missed some workout. He looks like Pacific Classic or Travers for him. So the top 10 pretty much remains intact. Maybe we'll see some changes after the Gold Cup.
Yeah, Firing Line was my number 2. I'm going to keep him there based on assumed health at some point in time. Clearly was the second best horse during the Triple Crown races, but just couldn't quite catch American Pharoah, but nobody could. Round 2 of the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series. Win and you're in. Saturday from the Gold Cup, Santa Anita, 8 to 9 p.m. primetime, NBC Sports Network. All right, more likely to be a winner this weekend, you or Tom Brady?
Wow. I don't know. Tom Brady's his own best ally. I could be my own best ally at times, too. So I'm going to say that's a dead heat, Bram.
Inflated balls for both of us. For Joe, I'm Bram. 2 guys and a classic. We will return next week when the series continues from Belmont.
Field sent on their way to the roar of the crowd.